This video is about understanding the three viewpoints, the bird's eye view, worm's eye view, and the eye level viewpoint. And it's in my art instruction course on Amazon. This is a diagram of the viewer looking at the vanishing point on eye level, making this an eye level viewpoint. Some artists refer to eye level as a line, the same height above ground as the viewer's eye. I prefer to see it as a horizontal plane hitting the eye of the viewer and the eye of anyone her height. It is parallel to the ground plane. The station point marks the position of the viewer's eye in space. The line of sight stretches from the station point to the vanishing point, all lying on the eye level plane in this viewpoint. Here are two eye level viewpoints, a landscape and a still life. The first one is what we see when we walk down the street, so it is commonplace, maybe a little boring. The view of the still life, where eye level is contiguous with the tops of the cups, shows little depth. These tops are lines instead of ellipses. There are almost no changes in their vertical positions or sizes, so it creates a fairly flat image, which some artists like. This diagram shows a bird's eye view looking down at the purple objects. I represent the station point as the viewer's eye, located on the eye level plane. Her lines of sight travel from the eye to each one of these squares. As she looks towards the distance, her line becomes more and more horizontal, and when she finally looks at the vanishing point, she has reached the eye level viewpoint. Notice that her eye tilts down but remains at the station point. This shows what she sees. The purple objects recede toward the vanishing point, and their bases appear higher on the page with distance. A bird's eye view may suggest superiority or remoteness, as if literally or figuratively looking down at a scene. Eye level must be high because everything is below it. This is the best viewpoint for showing depth, since we can see how everything is laid out. The midground is usually emphasized. We can't even see the foreground in this picture where I'm on a bridge. I love the shadow of the bridge framing the boat. Notice that if you eliminate the boat, the scene becomes difficult to interpret, so the boat is important for scale. In this still life, we see depth cues that are mostly absent in the previous still life I showed you. We see the relationship of objects to one another. We see their vertical positioning, cups overlapping the carafe, and cast shadows from one object touching another. These are diagrams of a worm's eye view of three purple objects. Here's the eye looking up at these purple squares. Her line of sight becomes more and more horizontal with distance, and when it reaches the vanishing point, she is then on the eye level viewpoint. This is what she sees. In the sky, the clouds go down with distance, approaching eye level, and on land, objects go up toward eye level. This is a nearby cloud. We mainly see its bottom, and it has a flat shape. For distant clouds, they decrease in size. They show more of their profile or side view with distance rather than their underside. They go down with distance. They overlap, especially here, and they are affected by atmospheric perspective, so value contrasts decrease and edges soften. Eye level is low in this worm's eye view of the silo, which is above us. This view requires extra effort because it's uncomfortable looking up because our eyes encounter our upper eyelid unless we tilt our head up. And it's an unusual view where we see the undersides of things. The view may suggest inferiority or dependence, like looking up at your boss. Foreground objects appear monumental, like this bottle, and usually contain the focus. Depth isn't as evident as in the bird's eye view because the horizon appears far away. There's little land here, so converging lines are confined to a small amount of space, and there's little midground or background. So artists often show depth in the sky, usually with clouds. Here we have figures in the eye level view, the bird's eye view, and the worm's eye view. If eye level crosses over, let's say, the thigh of a figure, it will cross over the thigh of any figures the same height. But eye level crossing over the eyes of the figure is a special case. It means that the viewer's eye is as high above ground as the eyes of the figures, and this can only happen looking straight ahead at an eye level viewpoint. The vertical position of the base dictates its position in space. The feet always go up regardless of the viewpoint. Does the position of the heads and eyes tell us anything? I will show you that it indicates the viewpoint. In A, for example, the head of the person here in the foreground is above the one in the distance, but it can't be much of a difference because their eyes lie on eye level. In B, notice that the eyes of the figure, marked in green here, don't coincide with each other or with eye level, and they get closer and closer to eye level with distance. For the worm's eye view, these eye levels go down with distance and then get closer and closer to eye level with distance. So the patterns of the tops of the figures are unique to each viewpoint. This shows us that the pattern of the tops tells us the type of view. In an eye level view, the tops form a horizontal line. In a bird's eye view, the tops go up with distance, getting closer as they approach eye level. And in the worm's eye view, they go down, also getting closer as they approach eye level. The width of the converging lines changes with the viewer's position. This is a low viewpoint where the viewer is close to the ground. Here, the viewer is much higher, so the V is narrow. Why should the artist care about eye level? It locates the horizon. It locates where most vanishing points are located. As I just showed you, it shows us the viewpoint. And now I'll show you that it also tells us where the station point or the eye is located. In this first image, we see a faint horizon here, so we know the viewer is lying on his stomach taking this picture. If he were standing, this bird would have to be huge. In this picture, eye level hits the end of the pier, so the viewer is probably also on a pier or land as high as a pier. And here, eye level hits the boat, so the viewer is probably standing in a nearby boat. My next video will be about one-point perspective, and it has some information that most artists are unaware of. Please remember to subscribe.